Hello and welcome to Frank's School. This is the 166th day of the 5th year, first video and only video. I'm going to call it Wind Fences, for lack of a better name, and Green Roofs, for lack of a better name. This is kind of a postscript to the State of the School videos, which I just did yesterday. I did almost all of them in one day. Kind of in a hurry because today I'm heading to Pittsburgh. Tomorrow I'm going to have work done on my heart, and you know I should recover immediately, but who knows. Anyway, I wanted to add this. I was sorry that I hadn't mentioned this, but maybe this is a better way to do it. There were three things, but I can't remember the third. Well, anyway, one of them is the pallet fences. A pallet fence can go curved as could be, and for a contour line, in order to have it level, it usually will be slightly curved, and that's the way I was doing them. And still, sometimes we'll do them that way, but I decided during this year that in certain occasions it would be better for me to go straight, and then straight, and then straight, and accomplish a curve by a series of, instead of a curve, well, the pallets would go like this, but instead of that, go straight, and then straight, and then straight, and then make sort of little pallet huts as corners. Now why? Well, it's because if I want to draw tension on it, if I want to add to it a fence, for example, a wire, electrified fence that's drawn with tension, well then it really needs to be straight, because tension wants to pull a curve inward. Although you don't really need tension. My fencing is so different from modern fencing. Modern fencing depends on very, very stout, expensive corners, braced, strongly drawn tight, and then electrified. But not me. Anyway, sometimes I go straight, but another reason besides tension is if it's also level, if the fence is also going level and straight, then I think I want to experiment with over the fence setting a series of pallet-sized windmills spinning on a vertical axis. A fellow here, John, that came to visit me, he suggested that was a good way to do a windmill on a vertical axis. And I say pallet size just because maybe I can use pallets for doing them. I've had quite a problem with my fences with the wind blowing them over, because they're not, the wind doesn't just go through them like wires, they become like barriers in a sense. And the wind going over them, if I didn't do it this way, because there are no posts, they just sit there. That's why they're like furniture. In a lot of languages, furniture is called movables, meubles, mauvais, I think. You can move them around, these fences. But anyway, and if I have it level, I can use a rope drive, if it will work, to use them as a gang. So say 3 or 4 or 6 will all be driving a single rope drive, and the power will be taken off at one end or the other. Well, for that to happen, you've got to be able to have tension. So anyway, that's something I want to experiment with, and I've got, I would say 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, I think 4 places where the wind has been an issue, and I should be able to do that. If they're coming down the hill, it's not going to work so well, because the axis has got to be plumb, and as you take your power off it, really has to be level. If you try to do it this way, there'll be real issues with the rope drive. So anyway, we'll see. That's something that's coming up. Now, the green roofs, I care more about this. I mentioned that I'm going to be building 30 huts, maybe, little huts. The biggest, 100 or 96 square feet, and then smaller. and I think I can do them for about $300. But what about the roofs? Roofing is expensive. What am I going to do? Well, I think I have a solution. And I think it is to use roll roofing. Roll roofing, there would be the rafter. I guess I should have, well, no, you wouldn't see it. There's the top of the rafter. I'd put roll roofing up and over it. In other words, I'd just drape roll roofing over it. You know, the seams would go this way. Drape roll roofing over it. And then nail purlins down and have them exposed, just like you saw that I had done when I was climbing on the roof. And if you looked around, the purlins are exposed. They're not under the roof, they're over the roof. I think they seal. Well, in the metal roof, I nail them at the hump, and you know, at the ridge. And so far, I haven't really had an issue. The wood itself acts like a gasket. And I think that would work here, and the roll roofing would as well. And I would use duplex nails. Those are double-headed, so you end up driving it in, but you have a head sticking up. Duplex nails. Then I would drape over that burlap, old burlap sacks, or burlap new that you buy, real open weave burlap. It's available. I drape that over it, and that's what this line is supposed to represent. And then on top of that, put compost. I've got quite a bit of it. Rotten hay. I guess you could use good hay too, but anyway, rotten hay would be better. And maybe even baler twine. My neighbor, I got him to give me all this plastic baler twine. I had no idea what I was going to do with it, but he was going to burn it. And I said, well, maybe I'll think of a use of it. Sisal burlap would be, baler twine would be great. But so would the plastic, because it stays there for a long time, and the nail heads would catch it. Well, anyway, and then I'd sew it with something. I have to look into it. Grass, moss, I don't know. I got that idea because a friend of mine online had put a picture of himself, and he was standing on a green roof, he said. Well, the green roof was basically flat, and it was about 1/4 of an inch of moss is what it looked like. But that qualified as a green roof. Well, see, I think water would gradually be held there, but I don't think it would leak. Anyway, that's my plan. And to tend this, if you wanted to actually garden it, not just leave it, but you actually wanted to tend it a little bit, you could do that, because in each one of the huts, there'll be one hatch, one pallet space that will have a skylight, but you can slide it down, so you could stand up there and you could work the garden from up there. So I wanted to get that idea out there as well before I quit altogether. All right.